The other killers were taken aback when they saw it, and they no longer fought. "Let's go!" One of the leaders roared, leaned back and threw himself at the slain companion, and with a wave of his long knife and his left hand grabbed the card he had cut off his head, and with a backhand swing of his knife to repel the enemy, he ran towards the cup with the head, and the remaining 8 black shadows also swept away, and only 3 ups and downs had disappeared into the night. The moon has sunk in the west, the cold stars are sparse, and the bamboo forest planted nearby is swaying lightly with the wind, and the night is quiet again, like a dream. Was it a dream? No, the hundreds of bodies lying on the ground did not disappear because of the noise. The first is still touching, and the fishy wind is still blowing. Xiaoxie smiled and shouted at Wei Yuxuan, "Hello Castle Master, I haven't seen you for a long time, are you okay?" Recently Xiaoxie didn't have to escape, because now it was in front of the public, and Wei Yuxuan didn't dare to make a casual move. Wei Yuxuan laughed and said, "Yang Xiaoxie really misses you." After saying goodbye, Shiza King told the old man that you are in trouble, I will rush to save you immediately, fortunately you are safe and sound, this is great. Xiaoxie also knew that Yuan Yuxuan was talking nonsense with his eyes open, so he scolded secretly. Fake said with a smile, "The castle owner thanked you for saving the car, but if you don't come, they won't hurt me, right?" Wei Yuxuan said with a smile, "Yes, yes, Yang Shei's skills are admired by the old man. Can Yang Shei allow the old man to ask for something?" The little evil shouted, "If you have something to say, let it go, my old man is very busy and doesn't give me an eye." Wei Yuxuan pointed to the surroundings and said, "These people are dead, and the grievances have been eliminated. Can Yang Xiaoxie look at the old man's thin face and let Zhang Jian go?" Xiao Zhiwang looked at Zhang Jian and thought about it for a while and said, "Okay, in fact, I don't have any big hatred with the Shenyu men, I can't kill them all, and these people were killed by the Black Scarf Killer, I have nothing to do with it, if they can't think about it, I am not ambiguous, right?" He let Zhang Jian go. Zhang Jian twisted his body and barely got up, and bowed his hand to Wei Yuxuan, "Thank you, Castle Master, this kindness is unforgettable." Wei Yuxuan waved his hand lightly and said, "There, you're welcome, you should thank Yang Xiaoxie instead of me." Zhang Jian said, "He and I were enemies, and today he killed all the altars of the Kaifeng branch of the Shenyu Gate, and the old man was also captured by him. He didn't kill me, he lost the opportunity, and the old man was grateful." There is a lot of resentment in the edict. As soon as Xiaoxie heard that there was still such a disadvantage in releasing people, he raised his foot and kicked him in the ass and shouted, "Get out! If you want to kill me, it's still too early for you Shenyu men." Zhang Jian didn't dare to say more, and bowed to Wei Yuxuan and left alone. Wei Yuxuan smiled, "Yang Xiaoxie, thank you for giving me this face." Yang Xiaoxiao shook his hand and smiled, there, it should be. How are you decent, Castle Master? A few days ago, I borrowed some money from you in Chang'an, why don't you want me to pay it back?" Wei Yuxuan smiled and said, "Brother Yang, what are you still polite to the old man? It's not enough to talk about it, you have to use it in the future, as long as you can take any of the branches of Flying Dragon Castle with one sentence, and never say the second sentence." He wants to buy the little evil with money. The little evil smiled and said, "Then thank you." Do you want to whisper to the castle master? Xiaoxie also knew that Wei Yuxuan was at ease with his intentions, and of course he had to whisper, and the content of what Xiaoxie wanted to say was greater than Wei Yuxuan. Tong Yuxuan smiled and said, "Little brother, we haven't seen each other for a few days and we have a lot to talk about, so let's take a step to talk and change places." He searched around, and then pointed to the front and said, "How about going to the forest in front?" He didn't want his subordinates to know. "If you have a chance in the forest, you can also kill the little evil by the way. Xiaoxie is a ghost spirit, he will not understand Wei Yuxuan's intentions." He smiled, "No need, you told your subordinates to withdraw, my brother he can't hear people clearly, and then you are not afraid of people listening, otherwise you don't have to do this Bun Castle Master." Wei Yuxuan smiled and said, "It's extreme." He turned his head to his subordinates and said, "Mr. Hong, you should stand down first and come back later, I have something to talk to Yang Xiaoxie." Hong Ying arched his hand and said, "Your subordinates obey orders." He led the 5 men to the right side of the forest. Wei Yuxuan saw that his subordinates had entered the forest, and said with a smile, "Yang Xiaoxie, your life is really big, jumping from a 10,000 jong high cliff into the Yellow River, you can survive, I really admire." Little Evil said, "Big Castle Lord, thank you for the compliment, I didn't want to jump, but I was forced to jump and run for my life, but fortunately, God has eyes and let me come back to life." He deliberately scolded Wei Yuxuan for being a dog. Wei Yuxuan didn't care, he smiled and said, "People say that if you don't die, there will be a blessing in the future, and it's really good, you jumped on top of my head with this jump, and I Flying Dragon Castle will take you as a baby's protection." Because the Flying Dragon Castle is decent, it is clear that Wei Yuxuan wants to protect the little evil to make up for the death he received in the castle last time. The reason is very simple, the little evil has died once and then resurrected. If he dies in the hands of the Flying Dragon Castle again, it will have damaged the prestige of the Flying Dragon Castle. In order to maintain the reputation of decency, Tong Yuxuan has to protect the little evil, and then secretly kill him. Xiaoxie chuckled and said, "This is as it should be, if you don't protect me, your Flying Dragon Castle is not decent, and those killers have nothing to do, right?" Wei Yuxuan raised his head and laughed, "Not bad, not bad, Yang Xiaoxie is still powerful, in today's battle, you have won a big victory." His laughter praised Su Xiaoxie, and he was also a little helpless, but the most important thing was to ease the excitement in his heart. Why was he excited? Because so many people had died in this battle, he couldn't help but feel that Yang Xiaoxie was a strong and terrifying opponent. So he was very excited, but it was inconvenient to show it in front of everyone. Xiaoxie was not interested in his laughter, he asked, "Wei Yuxuan, let me ask you, are the 10 people who came in the back the killers you hired?" "It's not." Little Evil Chi said, "Who could that be? They even killed the black turban killer who came before, and it seems that they are much stronger than you." Wei Yuxuan confessed, "Yes, 1 or 2 of them are better than the old man, this must not be the old man's deliberate trick." Xiaoxie glanced at him a few times, knowing that he was not lying, he asked, "Then you came here today, won't you be saving me?" "No, I only came out when I saw the 10 black turban killers appear, but I was still a step slower." The little evil laughed and said, "Your appearance is secretly to expose the bottom of the Black Scarf Killer, but the people of Mingzi think that you saved me and the Shenwu sect, and you have done a decent thing again." Wei Yuxuan also smiled and looked at the right palm that was about to split. He said, "You are very harmful, and it will be even worse in the future. The old man wants to kill you a little." Xiaoxie shrugged his shoulders and said, "Old castle master, I know that you don't kill me. You want to use me, and now that I have formed a bond with the Shenwu sect, you are not a fisherman to profit, not to mention that there are unknown killers. You want to see if these killers are on the same road with me. If not, you still want to buy them to deal with me, right?"